half-time. That might have been an injury. I didn't get a chance to ask you post-match, but how are the overall squad in terms of fitness and injuries?
Well, we've got a couple of players that we're waiting to hear from on the back of a few scans, and we're giving everybody the absolute longest time we possibly can. So I've got the full quarter to pick from, but we've got one or two with bumps and bruises. We're still in a situation where I'm waiting to get all the evidence from the medical team, and then we'll make a decision. But obviously Callum is definitely out and has gone back to his club. But with everybody else, we're keeping him in because if we think they've got a fighting chance of being ready for Sunday. And as for Emil, I mean, he'll be very doubtful, I would say.
I want to talk about adjustments because naturally, that a lot of the headlines will be about the lack of shots from open play. But we are still, in terms of England, having an opportunity to progress into the knockout stages. So what adjustments are you going to make tactically as you obviously now want to do or die against Croatia?
Well, we've played a number of different systems, whether we're drawing the games, chasing the games. But that's a fair question. We haven't created anywhere near as much as what we used to. In terms of how we put that right, I think we need to tweak a few tactical tweaks. I think we need to get probably a few more number 10s on the pitch. But getting that balance right, JD, is always difficult. And we've found it obviously over a period of time. But we're just not clicking at the moment. But hopefully tomorrow night, with a few bits and pieces that we've talked about, and we've spent some time with the players, getting their views on a few things. And by the time the game comes round, we'll be absolutely ready for it, and we'll look to score goals. We've won by 2 goals before, and that's what we've got to do again.
I have to ask you, because you were part of a very successful sort of qualification period, which was one of the most successful in the Under-21s history. And it looks like a complete different team to the team that's in the knockout stages. What has been sort of the problems and the adjustments that you've seen as we've progressed in this tournament?
Well, mate, I think the obvious one is prior to the tournament, I know that the England senior men's job has been called the impossible job. But I think the Under-21s job is the utterly impossible job. And the reason I say that is because of the amount of players that have to be produced for the senior team, and the fact that we're expected to win. And there's a reason why we haven't won this for 37 years. And there's a reason that we've not progressed as much as we thought we would. And part of that is because it is, our primary aim is to get players through to Gareth, and that's what we've done. So yes, we want to win as well. And that's when different personnel come along, it's usually because they've either been moved up into the seniors, or they've lost their way with us and they find a way back a different time. That's what the pathway is all about.
I have to ask then, in terms of a complete opposite perspective, in terms of with these matches, there's such few days in between. You have to balance recovery as well. With you having to make such an adjustment in terms of to be able to completely on the front foot, you talk about wanting to integrate more number 10s. Is there enough time tactically in between games to implement that strategy?
Well, I think all the questions that I ever get around the tactical side of the game, I think, to be perfectly honest, you've got 2 days, mate. You've got 2 days to get a team ready for the amount of work that you do through the Zoom or face-to-face meetings that we've had in the past leading up to this tournament. You can prepare for as much as you like, but then there are thunderbolts that come out of the blue, and you've got to deal with them. Some of those thunderbolts are because players in the seniors get injured and another player from the 21s goes up, but that means a different player comes in. So all in all, the important thing, I think, overriding it, is the lads are recovered. They are ready. Yeah, I'm going to use the squad. We've got some good players that haven't played yet. So, I'll be thinking they'll definitely be in my thinking, but also the lads that I'm trying to find out whether they're going to be fit enough or not, because the amount of games, obviously, that they've played and everything else.
Finally, for me, Aidy, you're a successful manager in terms of with England. I see the playoff championship success that you've had, the Toulon success, but is this game the biggest game of your career to date?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I represent England. My job is to get England players through the pathway. It's to win games. We're capable of getting a good result tomorrow night. We know we can do it. We've done it on several occasions, more than that. And it's about keeping a cool head now, mate. I think it's, we are where we are. We don't need to talk about the other games. That's done. We need to focus as much as we can, all our energies onto the next game. We've had our final training session outdoors today. Players look lively and ready. So, they're not daft. They know it's about them. It always is about the players. And I think we've got enough to do what we need to do to qualify.
Aidy, good luck tomorrow night, and we'll speak no doubt.
Thank you, mate.
JD, thank you very much. We'll go to Ian Abrahams at TalkSport, please.
Hi, Aidy, how are you?
Okay, mate, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. You know what everyone back here is like, already people writing your obituaries as the under-21 manager and already picking your successors. Is tomorrow about showing those people that they're wrong?
Well, that will be my primary motivation. My motivation is working for England, working for the Three Lions, really enjoying my job, wanting to make sure that we get this result that we need. I've got a really good job, and I really enjoy it. And other people are going to be mentioned for it. Of course they are, just like I was when I came into it. So that's not a motivation for me. What's the motivation for me is getting those players ready, getting the staff ready, and making sure we go home tomorrow night with a really good result in our back pocket and look forward to the next part of the tournament.
For that to happen, you have to win, and relatively big in terms of by 2 goals. In that respect, the tactic's easy. You just go for it.
Well, there will be a period in the game where I'm sure we do go for it, but I think we'll have to be more creative, a lot more creative than we have been of late. But we can do that. If the squad needs mixing up a little bit, we can do that. And the players will, by the time the kickoff comes around, they'll be energised, fit and ready. So we won't be going gung-ho, but we'll be selective in our attacks and making sure we defend properly while we go forward. You
described your job a little earlier as being the utterly impossible job, and players having to go to the seniors. And ever since I've been involved covering the under-21, there's always been a discussion at this tournament as to why players, however many times they play for the seniors, if England is serious about winning this tournament, why they don't come back and play. And this time around, there's half a dozen senior players that could have come back down and played. Do you think it's time that we actually took it more seriously and thought, however many caps you have, we want to win this, so therefore let's throw our absolute best players at it?
Well, you know what, mate? It's a brilliant question. And, if I can just throw this back at you, could you imagine a reserve team manager knocking on the door of the senior manager of a club, going in and saying, listen, boss, I think today you should let me have the best player because we've got to win the reserve team championship. That just wouldn't happen. And that's the reality of it, is that the only team that needs to win is the senior team. Everywhere else is winning is part of it, losing is part of it, drawing is part of it, having some adversity is part of it. But the main thing is the senior team. We are all here. Every player, every coach in the pathway is there to produce the senior team with players. That's what we do, and we've done that. And the reason I say it's the utterly impossible job is because obviously new players come in, younger players come in some respects, and the wheel starts again. So, I give you the little anecdote there about the reserve team manager. My job is not to say to Gareth, we should have Jude, or we should take Phil, or we should take Mason, or we should take whoever else. There are plenty of them, as you know. It's about the senior team, and it always will be. And if somebody's doing this job under 21 level and they're hiding players and not allowing them to go forward, or in the younger age groups, then the system is flawed. But it's not flawed because we're getting players through. We're winning games at the senior level.
But we haven't won the World Cup before you and I were born, Aidy, and we have never won the European Championship. So in some respects, I understand exactly what you're saying, and you're right. But the senior team that haven't won anything, they may well win this summer.
That's fair. That's fair. But we haven't been going that long. The cycle isn't complete yet in terms of all those players, the Mason Mounts of this world, at the correct age, the correct experience, the Phil Fordens ready to go on, take on the world. It takes time. It's not, we want to create a legacy here. We want to get players through. We want to win. We want to win at all levels, but it's not always right and possible to win at all levels. There's got to be a point where, you know, if you're in a club and the reserve team and the youth team are winning all the trophies and the senior team aren't, then there's a problem in that club. And that's how I would equate it to what we do.
Last one, your team you picked tomorrow, has there been any kind of debate, any kind of discussions with some of the club managers you have? I'm thinking with Norwich, you have Aaron's and Ollie Skip and Todd Campbell, because they've got a game on Friday. All the championship teams have. Has there been any discussions about limiting their game time or having no game time for those sort of players?
Well, we have a really good relationship with the clubs. I know you know that because you've seen us in action before. We have to win this one, and we've got to win it by 2 clear goals, and we've got to rely on Portugal to beat Switzerland. Now, those things could happen, and this could turn out from being a not a great trip in terms of our results to a really, really good trip. So I think everybody is aware the importance of the game and the importance of playing for England, and that helps those clubs as well because their players come back better players.
Aidy, best of luck tomorrow, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. We'll go across to Alex Howe from BBC, please.
Hi, Aidy.
Hi, Alex. Okay.
Just to go back on a couple of points you made there, did you lose some of the players you were expecting to have later than you thought?
Well, we were hoping we had Mason. Obviously, we've lost Callum. There's 2 wonderful players there. And then, obviously, Jude, there was a situation with Jude, but, you know, I don't want to be the whinge bag that goes on about we've not got this player, not got that player, to try and defend myself. They're facts, but they're what the job is. And if we lose them through injury, you know, James Justin being another one, that's just the way it is. So we just try and crack on with it, really.
And I know you said the job of the under-21s isn't to win, but the players will have wanted to win those games. How has the mood been in the camp?
The players do, the staff does, and I certainly do. You know, this is 2 years hard work to get to this point, and we want it to end well. As far as the players are in a positive place. They know what they've got to do, and we're there to support them in that. We're waiting on a few bumps and bruises before I pick the team, and then we're going to go and give it our absolute all and see if we can get on that plane on Wednesday, having got a good result, and hopefully everybody ready for the next one.
And last one from me, you said you mentioned you need to get some more 10s in the side. Is the issue now not to go too far the other way and get criticism for being too attacking?
Well, there you go. And thank you for saying that, for asking the question and answering it for me, because you know that if we be as defensive, part of what we've done has been good. I've got to be honest, but only bits of it. We're obviously, the important thing is the creativity for us. It's what we're all about. So we'll try, and we won't try. We will go and have a real go at our opponent, but we'll have to make sure that we're cute in our defending to make sure we don't get done on a transition.
Thanks, Aidy. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. We'll go across to the UK written press, and this section will be under embargo until 22:30 UK time.